this is a hard question. We'll start with this relationship, angle ACB, which is that angle, and I'll call that theta, is equal to AEB. So that's theta. Now, this angle is also theta because this is an isosceles triangle. These two are both equal to 12 centimeters. So the next thing I did was to call that angle alpha. That would be alpha. So we notice that this little triangle BDE and ADC are similar. So I think that's the direction I took. But then later on, I said, let me label more of these angles. This would be 180 minus alpha. And I can figure out that angle because I know these two angles. So if I just call that x plus theta, so I think this is where there's some work. So x would be alpha minus theta. And that means I can figure out this angle here, which would be 180 minus theta. That would just come from these two. So if I add these two, that angle would be 180 minus alpha. So the key thing to note here is that if you look at this triangle, the ABD, I'm going to redraw this here. That's 180 minus alpha. That's theta. And that's alpha minus theta. That, and let me actually use a different color here. And then this larger triangle, ABE, these are similar. Why? Because that's theta, and this whole angle is 180 minus alpha. So you can see these two, and that's, I think, was the hard part about this question, is to figure out that that triangle and then the larger red triangle are similar. And once you get to that stage, we can write that the length opposite theta, so I'm looking at the smaller triangle, this one here, which is 8 centimeters. This is 12 centimeters. That's 8. And on this red triangle, opposite theta is 12. And that, if I go here, opposite, what's the other angle? The 180 minus alpha. And here, this is 180 minus alpha. So that opposite side is AE. So that would go in the denominator. And then here, opposite 180 minus alpha is 12. So that's the similarity relationship, which means AE is 12 times 12 over 8. And that gives me AE is 18. So that's answer choice C. I'm not sure if I were able to draw these out clearly, but essentially, if I were to maybe summarize with the different color, the other triangle that's similar is that. And I think I initially was stuck on this triangle being similar to that, and that didn't help. So this is where I think labeling all the angles kind of eventually helped me see the link. But this is still a hard question. I don't know how many students will be able to directly see that relationship. I wasn't able to see the similarity between that, the blue triangle and the red triangle immediately. If you can, obviously, then it will be a lot faster. So just, I think with these types of questions, maybe always look to match the angles and look for similarity. That's a general strategy. Not guaranteed always, but generally what I see. So to summarize, the answer is C.